Okay, so here we are on the part 2 of the graphite modeling. Let's go to the front view here. Okay, and let's see. I have to plan this out strategically. Okay, so what I want to do is include some resolution here so I can have these nice rounded corners once I smooth mesh this. Now I'm debating here whether I should go ahead and mesh smooth or should I just go ahead and build all the resolution in. And I think I'm going to go ahead and smooth it. And so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce a couple of more loops here. So, and you'll see why I do that. Let's see, so I'm going to go ahead and grab these. Okay, I'm set to the edges. And I want to swift loop again. Notice I can just keep on using the same commands, okay? Okay, I'm going to select one there, and I'm going to put one there. Now, I'm going to put one coming across this way. And I'm going to need one here, as well as, you know what? I see I'm painting myself in a corner. See if I can get away with this. Yeah, I painted myself in a corner, but that's okay. Okay. Now you're asking, why did you put all those loops in there, all that geometry? Well, let me right click and get out of the command. Let me go ahead and apply the soft select now. I'm not soft select. The turbo smooth. See, turbo smooth. There it is. Okay, now if we notice, that extra resolution that I placed in there is actually helping me hold the shape together. It gives me a nice little bevel, but it gives me nice little roundy corners, but it doesn't make it just collapse like it did earlier when we were running through this experiment. So notice that again, by creating the new geometry, going ahead and slicing and dicing it up, edge faces here, okay. I just kind of prevented that. The unfortunate part about that is that right here it put a couple of, it increased my resolution here and didn't make this real nice and smooth. So what I can do is go ahead and select that, and I'm going to, let me adjust the turbo smooth. And what I want to do is, I want to go back into the front view. Yeah, front view. And I want to work on that a little bit. These vertices here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to vertex. Grab that, pull it down here, and I want to just pull that away. Pull that away, and then drop this a little bit. Okay. Now, important thing here, important note. If you noticed that all my geometry, again, I'm working like I do in Maya, so I have to remember not to do that. Boy. Okay, there we go. Yeah, issuing Maya commands in 3D Studio Max. Okay, so if you notice that all my geometry are in quads, everything has 4 sides. Nothing has more, nothing has less. And that's the trick. That's what you need to do, is keep everything in quads, okay? So with that said, let me go ahead and start manipulating this piece. Now, one thing I want to mention is that I have to make room down here for the striker plate. So I'm going to have to cut up some more geometry in here in order for that resolution to work, okay? So all I'm going to do is, yep, you're exactly right, go back to my swift loop, put a slice right there, and I basically have my the size for my geometry, but I'm going to just introduce a couple more loops right there, okay? So I am going to right click to exit that command. Then I'm going to go to this face mode here, select that, and I'm going to now extrude that. Okay, as soon as I can get there. There it is. Okay, now I want to probably, yep, I want to drag that down actually to about right there. Okay. Then what I might do is extrude it again. No, you know what? I think I'm just going to create a whole new plate. Uh-oh. And I always have to remember to hit the little check just to make so that it actually does the command that you've asked it to do. Okay, let me go ahead and take a quick render. I want to show you what this is looking like. Okay, it's kind of getting there. You know, you can kind of see the geometry, but let me attach a turbo smooth onto this piece. Up. Control Z. Control Z. Let me go back to edit poly. Select that one. Somebody asked me the other day, and in fact, I'm just a good object lesson. I'm in the command W, which is move. I just selected that, and that jarred it over here for a second. If you choose Q, you can select it without moving it. So that's why I use Q as opposed to W. Okay, so now I'm going to attach a turbo smooth onto this. Let's see, turbo smooth. Okay, nice and roundy corners. That's working out a lot better. And let me take a render of that now. Okay, looks a lot better. Okay. Okay, I went ahead and froze the top part right here with that plate, and or the top. Let's call it the handle. Oh, I just can't find a name for this thing. Okay, the handle, and that's now turned off because I wanted to go ahead and build this little striker plate here. That's that little plate right there. Okay, so I'm going to isolate that and isolate selection. Okay, and now up again, issuing Maya commands. Now I've isolated this little piece here. Let me give myself a little bit more real estate. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to round all the corners, but I'm not going to do it using the turbo smooth this time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up into Grafite, and I'm going to use the ring selection or loop selection, and then I'm going to go ahead and chamfer these or bevel them. Okay, so go ahead and open that up again. I'm going to convert this into an editable poly. Okay, and now I have, let's see, I can actually go to my edges there, and let me move this little guy out of the way. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go to selection and use the loop, and I want to select that one, and I want to grow the selection, which doesn't grow, which made me into a liar. Which is okay, so I can just go ahead and manually select them. Okay, now I want to grab them all, because every one of these I'm going to go ahead and apply an edge modifier. So I want to go ahead and add a chamfer, and let's open up the chamfer settings, and the chamfer is a little too high, so I can draw that back. There we go, and I want to use 2. Okay, and I think that looks pretty good, so I'm just going to accept that. Again, I always forget. There we go. Let's just swoop everything. Okay, chamfers applied to everything, and I remember I have to hit the check mark in order to apply it. Okay, fine. Now that's good. Okay. All right. Now I have to make 2 little indentations for the group for the staples. Okay. Let me zoom back out here. Oh, since I isolated this, everything is frozen, including my image plane back there. So I'm just going to have to kind of do this eyeballically and kind of guess. So what I want to do is I want to slice a couple of slices in here so I can put the indentations of where the staple, when you're slamming it against the striker plate, allows it to bend and to tuck back in, thus stapling your sheets of paper together. So what I want to do is I want to get a good view of this, and I want to go back up to Edit. I want to go again to Swift Loop, and down there, and it's hard to see, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Wireframe. Okay, there we go. About right there to about right there. I'm going to place one about right there, about right there, and I need a couple in the middle as well. Okay. I think that'll do it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and extrude a portion of this in, or drop it. Oops, don't need that one. Oh wait, I do need that one. Let's bring back the shaded mode. Then I want to go back to faces here. So you don't need the whole bunch right there. It's either all or nothing here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and extrude one bundle at a particular depth, and then I'm going to extrude them again. Okay, so let's extrude, and let's extrude. Okay, too much. Gonna come down, just extrude just a little bit down, about right there. Okay. Now what I want. Oh, again, I did it again. Okay, those check mark. Okay, now I only want this one and that one. Want to extrude again, and it remembered. I'll lift it up a little bit, right there. Use a check mark. Okay, and I'm good. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to sneak in here, and I want to grab that edge, this one right there, and that one, and that one. Boy, that's tricky. And just lift it up a little bit. Okay. And yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good there. Okay, so go back to Editable Poly. I want to right click. I want to unhide all. Okay. Okay, and let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, we're getting there. Take a quick render. Okay. So now if I materialize this, I think it would look a lot better. So now I have to work on the lower plate. The lower plate needs some resolution so that I can round these corners off as well. Now, I can go ahead and bevel those, or just add the resolution and soft smooth. So that's kind of like I have a choice. And let me think about that for a second. Let me do some cleanup here, and then I'll be right back. Okay. Now what I went ahead and done was, I thought about this for a second, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and include chamfers in on these edges. Okay, so what I did was I selected all the edges around this area, okay, all the way around, and ignored some of these. Actually, I could take some of these as well. Okay, but then that's going to force me to select the others on the other side. Now, and I have to be real careful. And when I work, oh boy, I'm in trouble now. I think Alt. There we go. I need to get. I can't seem to. There we go. This one. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and select all these others. So I'm going to shut the video off real quick, and I'll be right. Okay, I went ahead and selected all these edges, and if you can see, I selected them on both sides, and then right up along this face. Hopefully the chamfer will work in this case, but I think this is kind of problematic for me, but we'll try it anyway. So I'll go ahead and edit, and Oh, this is the edges. I'm going to go ahead and chamfer these and use the chamfer settings. And it looks like they're set pretty well right now. So I'm not going to really kind of mess with these too much. Okay. And if you notice, it just kind of rounded everything off a little bit. And I could go ahead and increase this a little bit. You see, yeah, you know what? I think I will, about right there. I'm going to hit the check mark and accept that. And pretty much this is complete, with the exception, I just need to make the striker plate, which is underneath that little silver part right there that you can see. Now, that's really not very much about anything. In fact, if I wanted to, all I need to do is select this bottom piece here and extrude these faces down, but I'm going to create a whole new piece for that. Okay, and which is just going to be a simple box, and I'm not really going to do anything to it. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, and we'll pick up with texture